Boy, oh boy, there's a lot of dialogue going around. Topic of conversation on the social medias. People calling Duke Manyweather crazy. I don't know what I mean, it's just not a safe place when we live in a world where, man, I don't want to be disrespectful and call nobody casual, bro. Because I feel like everybody's football opinion should be validated. And then there's another part of me that, you know, you have to be snobby. You don't know football guy, you know. Shouts out to everybody that watches this channel. And what I've learned over the years, just being who I am, being Voch, and the content that I put out, is y'all know I advocate for offensive line. And when I advocate for offensive line, this ain't something I'm making up. This is something that you guys tell me. A lot of people don't really know a whole bunch of ins and outs of offensive line, simply because, you know, broadcast view, they may not highlight us as much. When I say us throughout any conversation like this, I'm talking about offensive line. The broadcast view may not highlight us as much. A lot of people didn't play offensive line. You know, wide receiver, quarterback, just a little more flashy. Plus, there's more advocates out there for, you know, wide receiver, running back. You know, when we, you know, watching television or something, Michael Irvin is always giving us details about what wide receivers should be doing, or, you know, whatever it is, right? Somebody saying, oh, well, when you look for a running back, XYZ should happen. Maurice Jones-Drew said, oh, this is what a running back should look like, especially on the YouTube space, right? There's a bunch of new quarterbacks coming out breaking down quarterback, but man, we don't have a whole bunch of offensive line advocates. This ain't me poo-pooing on nobody, but what ends up happening is, cause and effect, is you get people on Twitter calling Duke Manyweather a 3-time black belt in offensive line. You get people calling him wrong about some offensive line stuff, man. I think that's nonsense. But the one conversation that's going on in the world of offensive line right now, especially in Cowboy land, is, first of all, we're building this offensive line, or we're having to reconstruct it. What do you do with Tyler Smith? He's a player that played guard for you last year, but he played tackle in his freshman campaign, or his rookie year, but I like to call it freshman. In his freshman campaign, he played tackle. What I think happened, and I said this, you know, since day one about Tyler Smith. If you're drafting Tyler Smith to be a tackle and to stay a tackle, you're gonna have challenges. And Tyler had his challenges, but he performed above expected. And I think that's why people look at Tyler Smith and his tackle pedigree, right? They say, oh man, Tyler Smith as a tackle, maybe if he keeps putting in work, maybe he'll be one of the best tackles in the league. And that's cool. I'll just disagree. I think Tyler Smith is one of the best guards in the league right now. And if he continues to put in work at guard, he'll be one of the best guards of all time. If the Cowboys win a Super Bowl with Tyler Smith playing left guard, then he'll be a Hall of Famer in no time. He's an all-pro. And I think he's the best offensive lineman that we have. Yes, I think he's better than Zach Martin. I think he's the best guard in the league, but that's just my own conversation. So the big question going into the draft, right, is how do we configure these guys? How do we move and shake these offensive linemen? You know, we always talk about, can you get the best 5 or can you optimize certain guys? Best 5 definitely makes a little bit of sense, right? Because once upon a time, Zach Martin playing tackle for you was a part of your best 5, but Zach Martin is a Hall of Fame guard for a reason. I mean, he'll be a Hall of Fame tackle. He can play tackle, but he's a Hall of Fame guard. That's what I think of Tyler Smith. So right now I got the top 5 reasons of why I feel like Tyler Smith should stay at guard and not move to tackle. And my first one, I just said this on the Twitter machine. Check me out at VOCHLOMBARDI. If you look at our ops, at our opponents, I wonder how many people on Twitter saw me say ops and they, you know, thought I meant like opponent and didn't really take that as ops or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But your ops, right? So when we think about the New York Giants, like Dexter Lawrence is sitting in the middle, ready to tear stuff up. If you think about the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, they're ready to tear stuff up over the middle. Tyler Smith has dealt with those guys, by the way. When we're playing the Washington Football Wizards this year, we're not going to lose a bunch of sleep over, you know, Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler. We're going to look at Deron Payne and, you know, that interior, right? Your interior ops 9 times out of 10 are always going to be better than your tackle ops. Even in the, you know, situation like the 49ers, right? The 49ers got edge dudes, right? Like they got Bosa over there, and he can be dangerous for your tackle situation, but you still got Javon Hargrave in there ready to eat up the inside. And the one thing I wouldn't want is for this combination of Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass next to each other dealing with the best of the best of the best, right? Even the Detroit Lions, they're a team that we're going to have to run into at some point. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson at edge is something that you have to deal with, but Aleem McNeil was hurt last year. So we really didn't get a chance to run against him, but he's another elite defensive tackle. And when it comes to what I would rather erase, I would rather erase the interior pressure than the exterior pressure. Okay. And that brings me to my next point. Number 2, Dak Prescott can deal with the outside pressure much better than he can with the inside pressure. Right. Think about how trash we've been at offensive tackle throughout the years. Right. And I ain't talking about Tyron Smith, because when he plays, he's Tyron, but we've dealt with both the Cams. We've dealt with Ty and Seki or whatever, you know, and you know, Ballin with Let's Go are guys that'll line up at tackle and stuff like that. But think about last year's game versus the Eagles, the first game when we almost won, but Terrence Steele, hey, look, shouts out to Terrence Steele. We love him to pieces, man, but he died a horrible death to Reddick that day. And Reddick got a couple of sacks, a couple of hits, pressures on Dak, but it could have been way, way more. But dealing with edge pressure is different than dealing with interior pressure, right? Dak is a guy that knows how to step up and move and navigate around the pocket once, you know, Reddick or whoever's playing end, or whether, you know, whether it be left side or right side, right? Once they run that loop, Dak knows to step up into B gap, and he'll either go left or right depending on whatever the move is, where the most grass and freedom and sunlight is, right? So whoever it is that you have playing tackle, if they get whooped by the edge, or let's just say in the event, because it's bound to happen, whoever got playing a tackle, they will get whooped at some point. In the event that they do get smoked, Dak knows how to deal with that pressure. This is coming from a Voch who has been watching Connor Williams for a long time, Connor McGovern for a long time, Tyler Biadasz for a long time. When there's pressure down the middle, it's just way tougher to deal with. There's not a whole bunch of running room when you get smacked up the middle by pass rush pressure, right? Or just any kind of pressure, even in the run game, right? The first thing that they teach you in, running back school, or the first thing they teach you in how to run the zone is you have to deal with A gap. You got to block the mic. Those are two things that when you go to football school, teacher, we're running zone. We're running inside and outside zone, specifically inside zone. At my football team, my football program, we're running inside zone. Your professor's gonna look right back at you and say, all right, cool. If you run the zone, you got to deal with A gap. You got to block the mic. Those are guard responsibilities, or guard and center responsibilities, interior. So yeah, if you have a better guard center combo, one, your quarterback can navigate better when you're sealed up front, but of course then your running game will be much better if you could deal with that pressure up front. But we'll just move on here. My third reason for why we should keep Tyler Smith at guard, as I get my button together, he's just better at guard. Did you hear what I said?
Did you hear what I said?
He's just simply better at guard. If you look at him, yeah, he had a really good year at tackle. He had a very because he's a rookie, right? When you have rookies and they perform better than you expect, then yeah, you just assume that they're just going to continue to just play how they play, right? But he's so much better as a guard. He's so physical in there. He's so much better as a tight space dancing bear than a moving on the island type of guy. He love to wrestle. He love to be powerful. He's strong enough to dig dudes out of A gap and B gap. He's just so much better. Sometimes on the outside, he can get a bit over aggressive, and he lunges sometimes and leans sometimes. And you could be like, well, but Voch, can't coaching just teach him how to not lunge and lean? For sure, coaching can teach him that, but show me the deficiencies that he got at guard right now. Show me what coaches need to fix on him at guard right now. And that list is way shorter than it is at tackle. He made all pro last year at guard. I don't want to hear, we're going to continue to have to oh well, let's teach him this at tackle and he'll boom boom boom. Man, are you kidding me? He's just much better there. And that brings it to my next point. I don't want to stunt his growth anymore. I don't want to just keep moving him all over the place, man. He plays tackle 1 year, guard another year, tackle another year. I don't want to do that. I want Tyler Smith to have a home, and I want him to continue to build up stripes and experience on that black belt. I don't want him to have black belts in multiple disciplines, right? I want you to really hunker down on this one thing and be the best guard you could be. Why? Because he's already better at guard. If he hunkers down at tackle, maybe he can improve and be where he's at guard. But if he hunkers down and improves at guard, then ain't no telling what Tyler Smith can be. He could be that Larry Allen type guy. And I know we love to go back to, oh, is this the new triplets? Is Zeke the new Emmett, Dak the new da-da-da? Got another 88. I know, Stepnowski. I know y'all love to go back to the 90s, but if there's ever a comparison from recent Cowboys to the 90s Cowboys, Tyler Smith playing left guard, the number 73 at left guard are both super athletic, powerful, mean, nasty dudes. Now I think Larry Allen is the greatest offensive lineman of all time. He's the reason why I played football on offensive line. So I don't want to just put Tyler into those shoes, but man, let that dude continue to grow. I want to see what the best version, level 10, all the upgrades of Tyler Smith looks like at guard. And when he's at guard, everybody around him can reap those benefits, which takes me to my fifth point. Let him help the center. You know, the center is typically the most vulnerable player on your offensive line. And that's not by design. It's just that you put your best quick-footed people at tackle and you put your most powerful people at guard. It's just typically how it works sometimes. If you get a center that's powerful, then that's just a plus. But many centers don't really get movement like that. So we use centers as like Voltron pieces, right? All right, take me a guard and pair them with, with the center or whatever. And then we can run our combos, our duos, our cags and tags. Cags being center and guard, tags being tackling guard or whatever, however you want to word them. There's a lot of different nomenclatures we can use there, but whoever ends up being the new center, whether it's Brock Hoffman or some dude from the outside, or whether y'all think, because I've seen this too, people want to sign Connor Williams back, whatever. Whoever ends up playing center for you, in the event that they're not a super powerful dude by themselves, and even if they are, right, that center would love the company of two all pros on both sides of them, like Zach Martin right here and Tyler Smith right here. Like TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman is a cool combo, but TJ Bass and Tyler Smith comboing from center and guard is an even, that's a wet dream waiting to happen. All right. I just wanted to put that out, man. I was on the social medias and it caught my attention. People still talking about this. People still calling Duke Manyweather crazy. I don't know. I just wanted to put in my 2 cents on this. But listen though, I'm people see me speaking with confidence or whatever, but that don't mean that I'm belittling your opinion. If you have a different opinion and you think Tyler should play tackle, give me your top 5 reasons in the comments and maybe we can have a discussion about it. So the next few hours until we go live or whatever, I'll be looking in the comments and seeing what y'all got to say. All right. Y'all hold down for the Doski Woski, man. Until next time. Peace.